Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Tasman's virtual Foundry Virtual Tabletop version 12 from the ground up. Sure, I don't think I've ever actually, I don't even know what I call it on my channel. Anyway, that's unimportant. In this series, what we're learning is how to use Foundry Virtual Tabletop from the ground up. So that, if I remember, that might be what it's actually called. So in our last episode, we went pretty in depth on the scenes. Now that we actually have a scene present, you'll notice that all these buttons are now active. I'm contemplating, I think before I want to get into these buttons here, I want to make it through these parts over here. So we're going to hold off on these guys, and we're going to continue on here. So our next part is going to be actors, and this is definitely one of the reasons I really wanted to do the simple world building, is so you could see how much the system developers actually do to the system, because this is as bare bones as it gets. By the way, I like to mention, just because it's an awesome service, moltenhosting.com. That's where I'm actually hosting my server on a third party. Really good prices, really good customer service, and everything else. So that is that. Let's see. So let's jump into actors. And I actually created a test one. Did I do that on camera? I don't remember, but we're going to delete it. So when you get into the system, at least this, you have the actors tab, and we have create actor, and we can create folders. All of them, as I pointed out, do have the create folder, and then whatever the tab thing is, a scene or so on and so forth, journal entry, items, and such. So you'll always have that button, and then create folders will just help you kind of organize that. You can say these are the NPCs, these are hostile mobs, these are, the big bad, or something like that, just to help you keep it organized. I wanted to actually check something. Does look like you can. It used to be that you couldn't even change the color, and I've always used a mod to do that. So I might be able to get rid of one of my mods, but we're gonna call this let's just call it PCs, I guess. Or no, let's call it templates. Actually, this is better. Did I spell that all completely wrong? Butterfingers. So with this, now you can actually click on the color and say, okay, I want this to be a I'm trying to remember, I think the default text is white, so you usually want to stick with darker colors. Maybe we'll make it a nice dark kind of purpley color, maybe, if I remember right. And then inside the folder, you have two modes. You can sort by alphabetic, I guess, alphabetical, or you can actually manual, so you put them however you want. So if we create the folder, it is white. Good. Your only option is usually just to create a token inside of it. There are modules that will actually let you nest folders and have folders and folders. That is definitely one I like, because actually it's right there. When I open it, you can actually have nested folders. I thought this did have it, so I guess when it's closed you can't, but when it's open you can. So now I can either create an actor, and I have the option that I can put the actor inside. I'm not sure why it says no template, but no template. Oh, actually, I know what that's talking about. I'm thinking of something else. So to create an actor, you just give it a name. This is saying that there's no template to use for it. Once, I thought it also had an option that said what folder to put it in. But creating actor here, we'll just put it at the bottom of the screen, or the bottom of all your folders and stuff. If you actually click it inside the folder right here, this will automatically put it inside your thing. And I'm actually going to call this one, I'm going to just do _template. And right now it says there's no template, but we'll get that fixed. So as you can see, now we have this template actor, and this is it. This is your entire actor sheet. You have your health, and then you have what they call their power bar, which you can represent anything you want, but this is generally the health. One of the mods that we actually installed was the Koboldworks data inspector, which gives us this little icon right here, which will actually let us see what data we actually have on this. So as you can see, we have a health bar, we have a power bar, we have the items tab with nothing in it, we have our attributes where we can actually create additional attributes, and we're going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead. Just trying to think. I don't think. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So like I said, if we drill down, we can see that, you know, it's 10 of 10. It's very, very basic. We have a max, a min, and a value. So we could say that the minimum value isn't, you know, 0, but that you'd have to do using code and stuff. And then our power bar here, 505. So if we were to take any off of this and say, okay, well, my health is now down to 5, right? You'll see that that has changed in here as well. So this is called role data, and I really like this module because it helps you see and get an idea of what your stuff is, and it also helps you know what I would need to type in a very simple way to get to that. So as you can see right up here, it said at health.max. If I were to use that as a formula, it would actually return back to where this is the health.value. Hopefully that makes sense. This is going to be a little tricky because I don't want to get really into the in-depth of how it stores everything, but I did want to be able to see and show you how basic your character is. And when we actually get into one of our pre-built systems, this is just ginormous how much data is in there. So we're going to close that for right now. So here's where you can click on the little pencil icon here. When you mouse over this area, you can do that, and this will give you the very basic WYSIWYG editor where you can do your format. I think we've gone over this before. And then once you've made all your changes, you just hit save and close editor. Items, we're going to jump into that because that's our next tab. So we're not actually going to put any items on our character, but we are going to play a little bit with the attributes because all your games have the attributes. You know, if it's D&D or even Pathfinder, you have strength, constitution, you have skills and all that kind of stuff. So that's what they're doing here. So the first kind of attribute we're actually going to create is just a standard attribute. So as you can see, we have add attribute group. If we type in a name here and hit add attribute group, it will create a group for us. But just to create a regular attribute, we just click on this. So let's go ahead and create our first attribute, and we'll just call this AC. I'm just going to have it be lowercase. And then our value, let's set our value to, let's set it the same as our health. Or we'll say it's 12. Let's say we're wearing leather armor in D&D. This is the label for it. We're just going to say AC. And then what type of data is this? What is this considered? Well, a 12 could be a string, but we want to actually call it a number. For those of you who don't know, Boolean is a true false. Formula would be like your 1d6 plus blah, blah, blah. And resource, how do I describe resource? I don't know how to describe resource. So I'll look that up maybe and come back to that later. So we're going to call it number. All right, so now if we go into our prototype token, or not our prototype token, our data token thing, you'll see that under here we now have an AC. Its value is 12. And now we can actually access that. Just with the @AC, we can access that value somewhere in our code. So now let's just pretend we're not going to go way into depth, but let's say we want to create an attribute, our strength attribute, right? So we're going to actually create one. We're going to call it strength, right? STRENGTH, like so. And then we're going to say add attribute group. And did it do it? It didn't do it. Okay, let's try it again. I'm trying to remember if I do S, maybe it's uppercase. I don't think it cares. STRENG strength add attribute. There we go. I'm not sure why it didn't do it. Maybe clicking directly from there to there messed something up. But anyway, in my notes I actually have this be lowercase because it's easier for all your different things to be lowercase. So let's see if we can. Actually, we can't. So let's do it again and see if that works. STRENGTH. I'm going to just click off of it like I did before and then click attribute group. I think that might be it. I think when you just click the add right away, it's trying to add a blank, which is nothing. So you have to confirm it by exiting that one. That'd be my guess. All right, so the group label is going to be STRENGTH, right? And I think that is the only things we need for that. So our strength, obviously this is just a string. And then inside here now, if we want to add the individual attributes, let's say we want to add our strength mod, or actually our strength value. Let's do our strength value first. So I'm going to do str and then maybe value, because this is, for example, in D&D, this would be your total value. Like I got a 14 in strength, which is was that a +2? So here's our strength value, and I did that wrong too. Dang it. So I need to do it right here. So let's go ahead and do str and val for our strength value. Our value, let's use what I just said. We're going to say 14, 14, and this will be our AC. We'll say STRENGTH VALUE. So this is just the label for it, and then of course that is a number, so we'll go ahead and say number, click off of it so everything registers. And then what I want to do is we're going to use a formula, because you can actually set it up, so that I could just go say, okay, my modifier for my strength is 2, because 10 and 11 is 0, 12 and 13 is 1, 14 and 15 is 2. So we can actually figure this out using a formula instead. And the way we would do that is we're going to access our strength value that we just created. So if we go look at our data inspector, we can see now we have a strength here, and we can see we have strength val, and you'll see up in the green, in the black box there, that it says strength.strval is how we access it. So we're actually going to do that. So let's go and close that. We're going to go create a second one, and this will be our strength mod. str mod. So this is our modifier. This is going to be a formula that we're using. So we're going to go down to formula, and this will make it so it's actually rollable now, because it's a formula. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a curly brace. That's not a curly brace. I'm going to do open close curly brace, and then I'm also going to do a parentheses, because this is, I don't know that you really need the parentheses, but actually no, I think we do, because we want to do this part first. So if we do that and we type, so it was at, what was it? STRENGTH, 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 and then STR and mod. And let's see, let me check my notes. Actually, no, not strength mod, strength val. So we want to take this number right here, and the way you figure that in D&D is you want to subtract 10 from it and then divide it by 2. So we do minus 10, and then outside our parenthesis, but inside the other squiggly brace, we want to do divide by 2. And this will actually generate our strength mod. Now, if we go look in our data guy here, you'll see that it is just remembering that, okay, 14, so you can see that actually worked. 14 minus 10 is going to be 4, divided by 2 is going to be 2, so our modifier will be 2. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And anytime we access that, it's actually going to do this formula and give us that value out. I think we end up doing that. So that's a really basic. Just imagine doing this for all your different things. You know, for example, your strength, dex, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and then all your skills and everything else. You can imagine that this is going to get really big and really complex. Not only that, there's also, you know, your strength saves, strength checks, that could all be factored into this as well. In fact, should I try? This wasn't in my notes, but I want to see if this works. So let's say, let's go add another. This is gonna be interesting if it works. So we're gonna say proficiency bonus. So we'll just do prof. We're gonna say at the beginning of D&D it's a 2. This is a number also, and let's say P-R-O-F-I-C-E-N. Is that how you spell it? Proficiency? I am not a very good speller. Apparently that might not be how it's spelled because we get the little red guy there, but it won't autocorrect. I'm just going to call prof then. So we'll just have be our prof, right? So let's see if we can get this to work and just show us. This actually will show us the strength mod. So if we go in here and we add a second thing, let's go ahead and do STRSAVE, and this is going to be a formula. Oops, it moved it. This is going to be a formula, and so this will be our strength mod plus our so this, all right, if I'm thinking right, this will be a 1d20 plus and this will probably be in parentheses. I hope this works. It'd be really cool if it worked on the first try. GTH. Strength.strmod plus and proficiency. I'm pretty sure it's just at prof. This is double check. Yeah, at prof. So we have, where to go? Right here. Plus our at PROF. I'm hoping this works. So what we should see is 2 plus 2. So I don't think it'll actually add it all up, but let's see if that worked. So if we go under strength, you can see our strength save is 14. Yeah, look at that. Oh, wait. Our strength save is the formula for that plus 2. I think that's still right. 1d20. I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't even thinking that that would even maybe work. Let's try and roll it. That one rolled. This one doesn't even roll, so I'm definitely doing something wrong. I'll have to look into it. I think it might be that we do It used to be that you put it in brackets, I think, or double brackets. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I don't have a closed squiggly. Curly brace. Maybe that's all I needed. Let's try that now. Click off of it. Oh my goodness, it worked. So we rolled a 14. This would be 2, and this would be 2. Look at that, it actually worked. I am shocked. That is awesome though. All right, so this was going to be our STRENGT strength mod and STRENGT strength save with 2 V's. All right, so I think that's all I really wanted to go in here. Now I just wanted to show you, like in the description, different things that we can do with it. And we're gonna, on my notes here, I have various things that I wanted to attempt to do. So this is going to be a fair amount of typing. Oh, but I don't have that yet. All right. We'll do as much as we can, and then we'll have to come revisit this guy. So there we go. Now we can see in our token that we have this additional information. So it's starting to look a little bit more like a character. Of course, we might have a group called attributes, and then inside attributes, we'd actually have strength, so on and so forth. I believe this will let you do a group inside a group. Maybe not. I'm not seeing it necessarily. Nope. All right. So maybe we couldn't dig down quite that far. All right, so let's go ahead in here and we'll just do some really quick ones. So in order to, let's say we want to roll an attack, and we want to use our strength modifier for it. We don't have a weapon to link to this, so we're not going to worry about that. So we're going to do roll ATTACK, and then, excuse me, the way that we can enter this in here, I'm going to try this way because I was reading through the patch notes and stuff that they've made it so that I think you can do this. Normally you do 2 brackets, the square brackets. We'll see if it works. So we're going to do a /R, which is, remember in the last couple episodes ago, we talked about, how to actually do different types of rolls. You do /R and then you do your formula. So this will be a 1d20, and we want to add in our strength modifier. So we would do at STRENGTH strength. Oh my gosh, STRENGTH and STR mod, right? And then we can close that. Now, if we want to give this a name so that it's easier for us to, right now, if we did this, you'll see it's pretty ugly. And I think now that I saw that it didn't actually do what I was thinking, I think we do need 2 of these to tell it that it's going to be a button. So as you can see, it should work, but that's kind of ugly. That's not how you're necessarily going to want it. So if we click on that, you can see it did the 1d2 because I'm a terrible typer. So let's go and do 1d20. Save that again. Go ahead and clear the thing. There we go. So here you can see we're doing 1d20. We rolled a 19. We know that our modifier is going to be +2, which puts it to 21. So yes, it is working. But if we want to make this look a little nicer, what we can do is use our friend the curly brace and type in what we want the tag to be. So this is saying basically this part here is the roll formula. This part right here is going to be the alias for it, how we want it to look. So ATTACK. If we do that, now you'll see that now we just have a nice attack button, and it works perfectly for us. So 11 + 2 going to give us 13. Now you could use more advanced codings to make it so that it only shows the value. That's outside the scope of this whole series. All right, I'm going to cut and paste because that will go a lot quicker, and we're already at 24 minutes. The types of roles that we already talked about. So I'm going to use from my notes. And I think I was fine just leaving these as is. So we're just going to hit enter a couple times here. And so remember, we went over our roles, a regular role and a public role. They're basically the exact same thing. So this is saying role /r 1d4, and it'll roll a 1d4. Public role, roll 1d4. This is the private game master role, meaning that the game master only sees it. A blind GM role is where everyone sees a little question mark, but the GM sees it only. And then a self roll is if you are a player and you just want to roll something and not have it register to anyone else, you can do that. So if we save this, you can see we have all these, and it does do them in kind of the color that we were talking about, the actual chat box. So if we do the 1d4, these two are pretty much exactly the same. This one's a little lighter color. Then we have this one, which is the private one, the blind one, and then this one, which is a little different than that one, but not a lot. But definitely you can see a difference between that. So those are our type of roles. Now I really wanted to quickly just do, let's say this is just kind of tapping into the functionality of our thing. So I'm going to do another copy and paste. I'm going to hit C, and then we're going to come here. And so this is going to be a special roll. So special damage roll. We're going to roll 2d6, and then we can put in single brackets what type of damage it is. And if it's an actual damage that's registered in the system, it will actually, show that. So we have 2d6 slashing damage plus 1d8 fire damage, and we're just going to call this roll for damage. So, and now if we go clear this guy and click our roll for damage, you can actually see that it is, actually this system doesn't have it. I guess why I wanted to show this is because if we were in a system that have these damages registered, this is where it would show like the little sword to say it's slashing, and this would show you the fire D-A-M-E-G. That looked weird. That it's that. But you can see here that it worked properly. We have slashing. Oh, actually, I think this is actually what I wanted. So we can say slashing damage is here, which we rolled a 2 and a 4. And here is our fire damage, which is a 6. I think that's what I really wanted to show, is that it can actually know that these are kind of the label for that damage type. All right, so there's more things that I want to do, because we can also have links into, say, journals and items and all that stuff, and we can actually have items in here as well. But I think this is going to do for this episode. I know this was, well, they've all been kind of scattered, and I apologize for that. It's really hard to think of a proper process to go through, because we could go through all this stuff, but then this is going to require this, and this down here is going to require this to be gone over, but then this is going to require this, and so on and so forth. Everything kind of intertwines. But I do hope you enjoyed anyway. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, subscribe, click that little notification bell. Actually, one last thing I wanted to do. I just remembered. This one's important. Ignore everything else I said. All right, so now that we have our character, you can see we have our template character. What we want to do is, remember when we created our actor, it said no template? If we right-click on it, we can configure ownership, export the data, import data into it. We can clear the folder. We can delete, we can duplicate it. but we can define it as a template, which is actually what we want to do. So if we click on that, now if we go create another character, it's going to use that one as a template. And you can see here that you can either choose no template or you can use our template. And we're going to say this is our player. And I cannot spell. I have fat fingers. So this is our player. And now you'll see that it actually automatically has all those attributes and everything built in. That's what I really wanted to quickly do because I'd end up forgetting that. So now, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, subscribe, click that little notification bell, join my Discord, tell other people about my channel. Check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub, and we grow the channel. Everybody wins, and that is in, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.